Hey there, cats and kittens. Marboro Man from Wham Radio and New Wham TV, because we have mutiny people coming right at you from beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois, with America's favorite co-host, Miss Anarchist.
Hey guys, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon here on Wham Radio, because we do have a mutiny, people. Today I'd like to, first off, thank my co-host for all the field work he's been doing. We have several different community outreach programs that we're spearheading right now, and he's been doing a lot of work on it. So I want to thank you, Marboro Man, for all the work you've been doing out in the field.
Heavy lifting, no problem.
Okay,
we are currently advertising and promoting for JC's Resale Shop, which is on East Avenue and Cermak Road, and that's also in beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois. But yeah, so more about that, when we get to our sponsors. But I just want everybody to know you can always find Marboro Man over at JC's for a while to come. So you can also find any products that you need too, merchandise or whatever. So okay, back to you, Ann.
Well, with that, we've been working with local small businesses, churches, and residents to bring Berwyn back from corporate interests. We want to restore it back to the city of homes that it once was.
Well, that's important. The reason that we do work with small and local businesses, of course, is because they're the backbone of the economy. But you've heard that probably from politicians. We're apolitical, so we don't do any type of politics or anything. But obviously, we're having an economic emergency right now. So the only thing that we're going to be able to do to solve this problem is back our local and small businesses.
Right. Now today, we do have a good show for you guys. This is brought to you by our one of our big sponsors, the American People's Party. We're going to talk to you guys today about why joining the AAPP is important to maintaining the freedom in this country. And we got to get people to catch on to this. And that's why we are here today, to inform you, the consumer, to vote with your dollars to make some real change. And we don't even mean the kind that you find in your pocket.
Or do we?
But first, I wanted to do a couple of updates. Our charity at Outer Heaven Ministry is doing very good. Despite the shutdown, people are donating. They are giving. Right now, we are still looking for field correspondents to help collect donations and install kits in the store. And of course, our sponsor, JC Resale Shop, donated a wonderful new microphone for us. So hopefully you guys here listening to us will be able to hear us better thanks to this new donation. So let's just try to get to the top of the show here. We wanted to talk to you guys, of course, about the American People's Party and why this is important. But first, we want to bring some important news as to why the American People's Party will be a great reason or a great way to fight tyranny and to bring wealth back into our country. So here's an article we found on the Washington Post talking about the coin shortage. Look at this little illustration they're using here. Oh, all the coins are at home being lazy and not doing anything.
It's a coin they're not yet.
Look at all these lazy coins here, and look, the back.
They're not working.
Look at the little picture in the back. It says "Be the change." Little Zen, be the change. And look at all the change just sitting at home doing nothing because they're telling you, you got to put them in the banks, guys. Your money's not doing anything at home and you got to put it in the bank.
So they don't want you to save your own money anymore. And that's basically what part of the emergency is. So, in other words, the bad guys are going to try to convince you that money is dirty and that we can't use cash, and that the only way to stabilize the dollar, because we have such a terrible economy and the dollar is crashing and there's going to be another stock market crash and all this crap is going to happen. They're going to close the banks and not give you any more cash anymore because they think that digital money is going to stabilize the economy somehow.
Yep.
Somehow they're basically going to steal more of your money for no reason without even saying anything to you, and there's nothing you can do about it, type of thing, in order to stabilize a very volatile, what's become a very volatile currency. So maybe there is no other way for the dollar,
and
the USD, to go but to digitalize.
And just to add to that, I did do an after hours episode on that Banking for All Act that ties into digitizing currency and how they're going to use the post office as a way to collect all this extra cash that's flowing around, collect the change, to collect the cash, and then they're going to like issue you your currency digitally there at the post office.
Right, so there's a very easy way around this. Basically, the government is going to abandon you, or, everyone, because there's not going to be any cash. The banks are going to abandon you too. That's supposed to be their job, to provide cash. Too many cash businesses, we're not going to do business without cash, period. Not in America. What will happen if they do this is people will be killing each other over a loaf of bread. And a loaf of bread could go as high as $10,000, and you couldn't do anything about it. So we're not going to let that happen. It's completely unreasonable. We're just going to all continue to do business as normal. And the easy way that we do that is by backing up our own currency, by printing it ourselves. And the reason that makes sense and that works is because, guess what? The dollar, the USD, is so bad right now. It's so shitty that if you go home tonight and print your own $5 bill with your face on it, it's actually worth $20 US. And you can use that at the store tomorrow. Your own $5 printed bill with your face on it, that you back up with whatever you choose, whatever's in your safe. You could have cash in your safe, I guess, USD. You could have a gold in your safe. You could have drugs or guns or carrots or other type of food, maybe carrot cake. I don't know. I'm guessing we're kind of hungry, but but no, seriously, food, gasoline, anything like that. And who says you can't grow money? Now you can grow money, because the dollar, the USD, is so bad that you can actually just print your own money, back it up with whatever you want, which includes whatever you can grow, like a tree of some sort, like apples, I guess. You could use apples to back up your own currency and go to the store and spend it.
All right, so on this, let's just take our attention back to this article.
Okay.
And talk about the coin shortage that they're trying to propagandize and get us to buy right now.
Well, by the way, coincidentally, your own USD, if you print yourself, is the $5 that's worth $20 US, is also the same as a gold back. So your own printed money is also worth the same as $5 of gold, which costs $20 US right now. That's to give you an idea. Wouldn't you like to go back to the economy that we had in the late 80s, early 90s, when we were nice and even with gold? Because that's basically what we need to do, and that we don't really have a choice in the matter. That's what we have to do, and we actually have the ability to do that. And the reason for that is because we control what value is. Value is not going to change in the eye of the consumer or anybody else. Value is never going to change. It's always going to be a reasonable supply and demand, whatever the market can bear. Okay? So the wise thing for us to do is for, pay employees with the business's own printed money that's good at whatever, the business produces, services or goods or whatever, and you can trade that around. Because everyone's going to need a little bit of that. You wouldn't need a whole paycheck's worth, but you could certainly trade it for something else, and give it to someone who does need stuff, groceries or whatever it is company you work for.
Okay, so we're jumping a little far ahead right now. I just wanted to bring up our evidence to show why printing our own currency is important. Now, with this article right here from the Washington Post, says in a plot twist, coins aren't making their way through the economy, with repercussions rippling from upper echelons of the federal government down to ice cream shops and bank teller windows. Oh, look, they put bank teller windows in the same level as ice cream shops. Um, with more people staying home, buying less, and shifting their spending online, the natural flow of pocket change through banks, restaurants, and retail stores has dried up. Coin issues can be a big deal. In the early 1960s, a shortage of silver helped usher in the passage of the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from circulating coins, also known as robbing the country of silver. The Mint says it's a circulation bottleneck that could only be helped and cleared up with the public's help. So it's only up to you or us as consumers to help with the bottlenecking process by giving our change more or using exact change. Or that's what they're claiming that's going to help it. And even in the Washington Post, they're so lax about it. They're like, whatever it's called, this lack of coinage seems to be a challenge that ever divided government, businesses, and Americans can unite behind. There's a new coin task force that was created in this. Now look, I had to do a little research into this to see what they were talking about. Now here's that task force. I think it's going to be on here. No, I think it's right. Yeah, here we go. So this is from the Federal Reserve website.
Their solution was more government.
Yeah. So the way how government works, guys, is it has to make more of itself. So anytime we present the government with the problem, its solution to the problem is make more of itself.
Which is why we have to be responsible for our own everything from now on. Because obviously, I guess you could say the government has made a mess of everything it's gotten its hands on. So anything you've ever asked it for or thought it should or shouldn't do, it's all made a mess of completely.
Yeah, it's kind of like screwed it up.
Let's just relegate the government to doing only what it's supposed to do, and we'll get to the real important work of making an economy and making money and that type of thing. We can deal with that amongst ourselves. We can do business with each other. We're the only ones that need to do that anyway. Nobody else does. That's not in America. If they're not here and participating in the economy, they don't need to be. We don't need them because we are an independent nation. Always have been, always will be. We should just, become isolationists, but if you don't subscribe to isolationism, that's fine. You can use digital money to go to another country or shop in another country if you prefer that. But remember, that's very volatile, digital money. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, no American will ever work for anything other than cash from now on, because it's been proven we cannot trust any of these institutions, from our banks to unfortunately, our political system. I guess that means our government. It's hard to say you can't trust the government. It's really not the government's fault. It's the people that work there. And it's not all of them either. It's, but, the few bad apples, as they always say. So we really need to just work on this more. And the best way to do that is to go ahead and basically all, take back our own power of being our own private banks. Since we're worth what gold is right now anyway. You and me are worth what gold is right now. So in other words, if you have no US dollars, you're worth way more than any US dollars at all, like even a millionaire. So if you have no US dollars in your pocket, none at all, a guy who has 1 million of them, you're actually worth 5 million compared to his million. Isn't that crazy? Because that's how bad the dollar is. You can actually have your own power now because it became that bad. There's no way around it. In other words, it's insolvent. The U.S. So we just start over. That's all. Not a big deal.
So we need to
treat it like it's no big deal.
So right here they said the U.S. Coin Task Force.
Let them take our cash.
U.S. Coin Task Force is established. It
Not worth anything anyway.
In early July, the Federal Reserve will convene a group of industry leaders for a limited scope, limited duration task force, the U.S. Coin Task Force. So the answer to the problem is more government. to work together to identify, implement, and promote actions to reduce the consequence and duration of the cerveza bug related disruptions to normal coin circulation. And we all know that we're not going back to normal, guys. This is not going to happen anytime soon. Obviously, the U.S. Coin Task Force is supposed to be, I guess the enforcers of getting all the coins. So they're going to probably show up one day if they find out you got like a jar of coins at home that are just sitting there, and the U.S. Coin Task Force shows up knocking at your door like on a no-knock raid, like at your house.
And of course, we can't have that. So if you did want to save coins, you would put them in your safe, print your own money in accordance with the value of those coins, which makes you a private bank, and therefore no one can interfere with any way you do business, and they certainly cannot confiscate whatever you're using, if it's coins, to back up your the value of the money you print, because then they'd be manipulating the American dollar, and they can't do that. That's illegal. You can't manipulate the value of American currency. You're not allowed to go into a bank that you're in direct competition with, by the way, because they'd have to print their own money too, and go and devalue their currency. You can't do that. That's illegal. That's bank robbery, actually. So, the only rule the only law that we're going to need to enforce at all is just no forcing anything on anybody, which pretty much is, the root of every actual crime or, breaking of the law of the land. You steal something by force, that's, you're forcing something. Obviously, that's illegal, like bank robbery, for example, or, child molestation. So then, the police can focus on actual crimes, so it should make their job a lot easier. All they'd have to prove in any court of law is just that there's a victim that was being forced upon. And if that's true, then there's an injured party, and then a crime exists, and there, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Well,
argumentatively, complaining witness could be construed as an injured party. Yeah.
So that brings us to...
Buyer beware.
That now brings us to the American People's Party, and how joining the American People's Party is a very American and patriotic thing to do. We're going to go over some of the key tenets of it. Members are allowed to, of course, print their own money equal to that of the value of what they themselves as individuals can back up their currency with. So, for example, gold or skills or services or some sort.
Skills and services.
That's always very important.
Which is what allows you to print your own money. That's even if you need to. You might not need to. You probably don't even know how good at business you are, or what a good earner you are. You might be so good at it, you can just collect money from all kinds of businesses and institutions and pass that around as your cash, because, you earned it from them somehow, or did some kind of business negotiation, and now you have a bunch of their cash that they printed for their services and stuff. And other people want those services and things, and you have the way to get it, so there you go, now you're rich. You see how that works, people? So easy, it's so simple. It's just like cash is now, except even easier and better, and you control it. I mean, come on. That's what you want, and that's what we want in our military. If you're a military man, you really want an American People's Party card. That's like your new bank card for any American. And now, especially if you're a military person, you want a card that basically gives you unlimited resources to get as much ammunition and weapons, I guess, and bombs or whatever it is you think that you can creatively use, since you're legally a military guy. If you're in the I'm assuming you're in the military is what I'm talking about. Like from the lowliest private to the toppiest general.
Okay. So let's show them some information really quick about the American People's Party.
Any creative way you want to protect our freedom, you can go out and do it on your own.
Okay, so here's some information about the American People's Party. What is it? It is a publicly available anti-secret society where members can get together and talk about things.
We wouldn't even need to raise taxes for that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Anne gets mad at me on the air, by the way, and she makes a face, but she doesn't let it show. I guess it's, I would say it's okay for her to yell at me, but she's just going to continue to do that like this, because...
Oh, jeez. All right. So we got to stay on topic.
Yes.
So the American People's Party is an anti-secret society where people can get together and discuss topics of common knowledge against or with each other, pass on information and stuff like that. They do have benefits that only us, the members, can enjoy.
Right.
It relieves us from corporate interests, and in return, we get equal treatment in rights Americans.
Right, which is why you have to get the American People's Party card. You got to get the card, okay? Because that is the only thing that will allow you to, A, do business with somebody, because you can only do business with other people that have the card. That's the only way this economy works. So you got to have that card. Like I said, think of it as your bank card. You need it to eat, you need it to buy weapons or food or shelter or whatever it is people buy. I don't know what people buy. What the hell do I know? I'm the Marlboro Man. I buy food and weapons.
One of the biggest benefits of membership is the ability to print your own currency. All currency is accepted by all members and can be used to buy goods and services through other members. We also will have the freedom to use the free market privately, because that's very, very key and crucial in freeing the market that we currently live under.
And maintaining a true free market.
Exactly.
This way, it's impossible for it to not be a free market, which means no inflation, no debt, all that bullshit, all that BS. They can't take your money without asking your permission, and then you can't do anything about it. None of that BS happens, especially with you being your own private bank.
So, we want to focus also on keeping all transactions private. It's very important that we want to keep private transactions. I know people are going to sit there and say, well, I don't have nothing to hide.
And digital money, by the way, folks, is completely the opposite. Okay? Which is fine if you want to do, but remember, that's volatile. They can take it for no reason, which means if you put $100 in a digital account, you never get any cash out of it. And when you wake up tomorrow, it's 95, 75 or something like that. So they can take it for any reason, and they can take all of it if they want to, and they don't even have to give you an explanation for it. Okay, so digital money is not good to keep if you want to continue to eat and pay rent and stuff like that. You don't want to use digital money. You shouldn't work for it. It doesn't really give you anything. Okay, and also it's kind of worthless. Like I said, we'll take 20 of those digital dollars to equal $5 that you could print on your own. I mean, that's how bad it is. Okay. Continue.
So how does the American People's Party keep corporate interests out? So by becoming a member, guys, you're going to pledge to freedom and equal rights for all, which means no corporate entity can infringe on your rights as a natural person, because our members are going to defend freedom and equal rights. And we have to defend each other. And even if you're not a member, we're still going to defend your freedom to not be a member as well. By using our own currency, guys, we're going to keep corporations out of the free market transactions if we deem it fit. So it still has to be voluntary. There are times where we can let corporate interests come in and do some stuff, because there might be a couple of things they might be good for, but it's up to us to make that informed decision, because by decentralizing currency, we're going to be increasing the value of our own currency at the same time.
Right.
So we're not always going to need a big corporation to come by and save everybody. We're going to be able to increase the value of our own skills and our own monies and stuff and capital to back up our own currency.
The goal will always be, as long as you're not forcing somebody for any reason, to increase the value of our currency by accumulating whatever tangible or other valuable, like service, I suppose, or smart people, I don't know, whatever, creativity, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Any tangible and redeemable things that you can use to increase the value of the currency. We'll forever be collecting that. and putting it in safes or whatever it is, however you want to back it up. And we all do that individually. And of course, companies will do that. And, you know, we're all like our own business in this, except, you know, you can choose whether you want to be one guy in a business or 10 people in a business or a whole corporation full or whatever you want. It's up to you and the people that work with you. So kissing each other's ass is also going to be a huge benefit, which is exactly what you want in a private and doing business, because that makes the day go, it's just easier. All right, the day goes by much easier. Everyone kind of knows, what to, how to cushy each other and make things go more smoothly, right? We all need stuff. We all want to get from point A to point B. We just want to do it the smoothest way, the most luxurious possible way, I guess, right? So, yeah. So we're encouraged to kiss each other's ass because it increases the value of our currency, okay? So if you're kissing someone's ass, your currency is going to be worth more than a guy who's an asshole. So, yeah, there you go right there.
All right, so just to finish
just
up
by
on
being
this.
nice, you're worth more money. Now all those nice people and all the people who thought they had useless information in their heads, now all of a sudden you guys are loaded. And all the business people, all the business leaders, we're all the most important people in society now because everything has to go through us now. Society can't even exist without us. There couldn't even be any politicians without us. Okay, so they have to kiss our ass because now it's our money. Now we print it. Okay, now do you get it, business owners? Okay, we're the most important people in society now because we provide everything for the whole town. There'd be no town without us and our deals that we negotiate and do. That's what makes us business leaders. And continue.
Okay, so corporations obviously allow monopolies to exist, whereas the free market will allow for competition. It'll fix itself in the ways that it needs, according to supply and demand.
Networking, right,
Yep.
Exactly.
So members are going to be able to compete. Members of the AEPP will be able to compete in the free market should the USD dollar cease as a legal tender. So as soon as... Which it will,
let's
guys.
hope I'm wrong. Let's all pray that I'm wrong.
Yeah, let's pray that we're wrong,
crazy,
guys.
But, if it happens, we have a backup plan. We don't have to kill each other. We can continue on, business as usual. The next day will happen, and we'll still have plenty of cash. We will not run out. We will not lose our homes and businesses this time. Okay, and we certainly aren't going to let anybody shut us down again. I mean, come on. We learned our lesson, didn't we?
You would think. So
I sure hope so.
let's move on to the next point. So how does the American People's Party ensure equal treatment?
By the way, if we print our own money, how are they going to shut us down? Well, they don't have any leverage over us. What are they going to do, fine us and have us print more money?
Print money and pay them.
Think about that.
Okay.
What would they do? We might as well just continue doing what we know to be correct and right. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying, man.
So members of the American People's Party, by ensuring equal treatment of rights, we're basically going to respect the personal rights of each individual member. Okay, this is a kinship, guys, like a brotherhood, fraternity. We're all Americans here that just want to party.
Brotherhood, fraternity.
We just want to have a good time.
Kinship.
We want to conduct business. We want to go to the store.
Private business.
Yeah. We just want to have a good time, guys.
Right.
This is an apolitical party.
Right.
Okay, so all members are equal rights.
Just here to have a good time and make as much money as possible.
And are held to high moral standards to the non-aggression principle.
Right.
So violators are going to be removed from membership by direct democracy. So we don't want to deal business with somebody. We don't have to deal business with them anymore. They don't even have to be considered a member anymore. But if people who are still members still want to do business with them, they can, because that is their right to.
That's why we wanted to make it as easy as possible for our members that also happen to be in law enforcement. Of course we support you. All you have to do now, we made it easy for you. Now you just find out who's being forced, so that's your injured party. There's your crime. and you can take it from there and begin to investigate the case. And if someone's forcing someone to do something, chances are they're probably involved in a lot of other crime. That real crime, like murder and stuff like that, and child molestation, real crimes, nothing that's trying to make them like money to give to charity, like most people would normally do. Okay, yeah, and that, by the way, most people would normally do that. So if we just stayed away from like not paying attention to like things that just make money but are taboo, I guess like drugs and prostitution fall into that category. Well, gambling too, but that's legal. I mean, so much of this stuff is legal now anyway. All right, we're already moving in that direction. Let's just forget about it. Let everybody make their money, and just make no force be the law. So that way we're going after actual crimes, okay? And in the process, protecting the interest, the public interest, and increasing the value of our currency continuously without manipulating it artificially, which is what any interference in the natural flow of business would do. So there can never, as long as you can say, I'm at work, nobody can, and I'm on the clock, or I'm doing, I'm in the middle of a business transaction. No one can do anything until you're finished doing that, until you clock out. Then they can talk to you about something, and then, whatever. Then you just follow your normal principles of everything else. That's all there is to it. All we're saying is we don't want any interference in the business. The natural flow of business. Supply and demand, free market has to dictate over everything, because that's the natural way. That's the laws of Mother Nature, and that's the best way. And by the way, if you don't force any of that stuff, which we practice not forcing anything, just basically going with the flow. That's why the job becomes easier for our fellow American citizens who are club members of the APP and happen to be in law enforcement. Okay, I hope I made that clear.
Okay.
Law enforcement people will only have to go after people forcing other people to do things they don't want to do. Plain and simple. Try to make it easy.
I'm anarchist. I don't support law enforcement because that still has the word force in it. So we'd have to probably change them back to peacekeepers, which that is also ironic. So
right, exactly.
We want to talk about the criteria for membership to the APP. We want anybody.
So even when we try to fix everything,
we want anybody that's living in the 50 states. They got to take an oath to defend the personal rights of fellow members and defend liberty and justice for all. And most importantly, follow the American Constitution to the spirit and the letter of the document, which governs the activity of all American people, no matter what. We don't need any more amendments. Everything was already stated in the Bill of Rights of what we need to do.
That's right,
and the Constitution.
All we need.
That's all we need, guys.
Don't need nothing else. There's no argument about any of it. A lot of people want to say, well, what about the all men are created equal? They didn't mean like people of color, for example. Well, it doesn't matter now, because of course, if we would read it, all men are created equal, and not think nowadays that it wouldn't pertain to just anyone, whatever their color. Now there's no argument, because it says all men are created equal.
And black people own property.
Are all men, right? Exactly. So it doesn't matter, whatever color. Okay, so we don't need any further clarification on the Constitution or Bill of Rights. They're pretty clear. They're very clear.
So the people who would be interested in joining the APP, or who we really want to appeal to, guys, is anybody who's an American.
Right.
Okay, and if you stand for being an American, not a U.S. citizen, guys, learn the difference.
Nothing to do with the U.S. citizen.
We don't want to deal with U.S. citizens.
Or the U.S. government. We don't want to,
Yeah, we're not dealing with them.
Separate from all that stuff.
We want to deal with
American
citizens.
In the country of America.
Right. We want to be interested in talking to people who are in military or in militia groups. The APP is perfect for them.
Yeah, you guys will love this.
Yeah.
If you're a member of the military, you're going to love being an American citizen.
And being able to have the power to create your own money. Now, another people that would be good in doing business with us is private citizens. We want to make sure that private citizens are able to do private transactions without being tracked or monitored or having their savings account docked every time, like the bank loses money or something.
So if there's some criteria you think you don't meet or you don't, all you'd have to do is just prove that you're an active participant in the local economy, which brings us to small business owners.
Right, and the small business owners are the people we really, really, really want a majority of. We want to have a lot of small business owners in the APP because, again, you guys are the backbone of this country.
Well, and remember, people, small business owners are the actual people that get you your food and your libations and your recreational materials and your entertainment and your clothing and your shelter and everything. Small business owners are the ones who get all that, okay? Big business owners don't really give you much of any of that. If they do, they give you a cheap, crappy version of it. But it's actually this, or they rely on small business owners in the area. Okay, so it's small business owners in your area that are actually providing you with everything that you use. So let's have them be the ones that we deal with mainly, and if possible only anyway, because those are the only ones that we really need.
Right.
Does that make sense to everyone? And if we're all going to be printing our own money anyway, especially, we're going to want to know each other anyway. So it's much more convenient, okay? And as I said earlier, we Americans and small business owners will tell you that we don't need to rely on any other country. We have everything we need right here in America.
Yep. Everything we need is right here. All our labor is here. All our skills is here.
All our natural resources
resources are here. There's no reason why we need to be trading all this stuff with China and getting all these Chinese-made, whacked out products.
We have plenty of drugs and alcohol too. Right?
I know.
Made right here, and tobacco, all made right here.
You would think we were only in China
USA.
for opium or something.
Oh my goodness, who would do such a thing? Not the American not the United States government.
Right, we could never do any wrong here, guys.
The American government would never do that.
Well, the American government, yeah, because we the people, I think a majority of us people, we're good people.
Right. We're your unelectable leaders of this American citizen thing. Of the American people. We're the unelected leaders of the American people right now. Which is just fine because, really, I mean, you have no choice because no one else is going to help you or offering any emergency solutions that actually make any sense anyway. Everyone else is going to try to get something out of you and try to take advantage of you. We don't care about any of that. We just want to wake up tomorrow, same as you, and have the same kind of boring day that we hopefully always can rely on having. Only we should be in control of how interesting we want our day to be. And it shouldn't be because we're hitting snags and, getting hit with things out of the sky and shit hitting the fan and all kind. No. That's stuff we don't want because, we need drama or we need an exciting day. No. We choose if we want to have an exciting adventure that day. Otherwise, if we want it to be boring and normal, fine. That too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see.
So right now, just
really have anything else to go over at the moment?
No, not really. I mean, just right now, it's just going over the fact that, it's really important, guys, that you learn how to value yourself and your time.
And you get the American People's Party card, because that will be your new bank card. You will need it to eat and to pay rent and to do anything. You'll need it to buy drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and weapons and food and shelter and gasoline.
You said that like 5 times already.
Clothing, yeah. Okay, well, I want to make sure people understand. The APP card is like your new bank card.
I think you need
it for everything.
It's more important for people
It's $5, okay? And that's only because the card costs $5 to print, which will have your picture on it. All we need is your contact information so that we can tell you either where to come get your card and get your picture taken, or we can go to you and take care of giving you your card or whatever.
Okay, well, I also think it's very important that we get across to our listeners why printing our own money is important.
Yes.
And it's foolproof in fixing our economy.
Right.
The fact that if we issued our own money, like if I issued my own and dollars to people, You know, I would know, one, it would protect against fraud because I would know how many dollars I issued and gave to people and who I gave it to.
Incidentally, if you don't have $5 for the card for a limited time, we'll be waiving that fee if you actually don't have it. If you do have it, just please, pass it along because they do actually cost money. But for a limited time, we'll cover you if you really don't have it. But yes, you're right, the $, exactly.
Yeah.
And any business owner would agree that they would rather take your personal dollars than one US dollar, at the moment, because they'd rather do business with you directly and have that direct connection with you personally. It's worth more to them. It's more valuable to them. You're more valuable to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And why wouldn't you be? You're the customer.
Right. And
we want to see you tomorrow.
And it's more than just being a customer. It's you being an individual. You showing some self-respect and saying, look, I am a human being. I am valuable. I value my time. I value my skills. Right. And I value my knowledge of my skills. Okay? And I think it's very important for people to sit down and think about their self-worth and what they feel like. Anybody can sit there and say that they're worth $1 million. But are you? Can you really back up that notion with $1 million worth of something? Right. Whether it's $1 million worth of ideas or $1 million worth of capital.
And is it really that hard to come up with $1 million worth of something? Is it? I guess that's up to the American people.
It really is.
Oh, I guess so.
Okay, guys.
So we're all encouraged to be the best that we can be under that economic system. And basically, the harder you try, or the better you do, or the more you accomplish, or the luckier you are, just like in real life, the way it should be, the more you're worth, the more you make, the more your money is valued. Okay, yeah. Well,
okay, guys. So we're getting to the end of the show. We just want you guys to sit and think about some of the information we presented you guys with. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to take in. We want to go over it a couple other times in other episodes. And we probably will bring it up in other episodes because this is such a very important notion that you look at yourself and you sit there and you say, I'm a man or a woman or whatever I am, and I deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. I don't deserve to be a debt slave. I don't deserve to be using this fiat currency that is stealing wealth from my family and from children or grandchildren I have not even had yet.
I deserve to come up with good ideas and be able to help people and run my own business any way that I see fit and in order to help people in my neighborhood.
Yes, guys, it's very important to say these things to yourself
without any interference from anybody.
Yeah.
Because that'll screw up the value of the dollar, of the economy, the American dollar.
They don't say America is the land of middlemen for no reason. Like, we got middlemen between the middlemen between the middlemen, and we want to cut out the middlemen, guys.
That's right, folks.
We want to do direct business to people.
Right.
We don't want to have to spend time toiling around with extra
paperwork. That they should lose their job or take away their job or anything. By getting rid of middlemen, we're creating more jobs. Now, if you're a middleman, if you were a middleman before, now you can choose to either do your thing on your own and collect 100% of the money, or have a team of 10 people and collect whatever money. Like, it's your choice.
Okay. All right, everybody, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon.
And the Marboro Man from Wham Radio and New MTV, because we have a mutiny people.
All right, and we'll see you guys all on the next show.
Good night, cats and kittens.